Sweet, I'll take them.
All right, guys, thanks for coming today. Really appreciate it. We're just going to go through some team building stuff and work on different skills that each of us use every day without even realizing that we do. Right now, I'm just going to go with kind of an icebreaker, and I want us to go through and talk about, well, we're all volleyball players, and I want us to talk about what our main interests were prior to volleyball. Mike, what do you want to start?
Main interest prior to volleyball?
Yeah, so what took up most of your time? Because as of now, we're all professional volleyball players, kind of becomes our job. So what was your main interest prior to volleyball, if you can even remember?
Soccer, because that's the
Soccer.
only other sport I played before volleyball.
Okay. Okay.
I would say basketball and video games. My brother was into video games, and he was an older brother, and I played with him all the time.
I played the clarinet for a while, and then once I started playing, I just didn't have time to succeed.
In the clarinet?
Yeah.
Got it.
I'd say basketball as along with Jonah because I played that. I did like travel in high school and everything like that, so it took up a lot of my time before.
Okay. And now let's kind of get back to volleyball here. What currently is your biggest goal with volleyball specifically?
To play in the Olympics.
Okay.
I mean, that's a goal for me too, but just to have like make a career out of it, longevity.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Just be healthy for the next however long and see how far I can go. I kind of owe it to myself to do the best that I can while I'm healthy and alive. So.
Yeah, pretty much like with Taylor. Obviously, Olympics is the final goal, but just like have a long, successful career.
Okay. Perfect. What steps do you need to take to reach that specific goal that you just shared?
Well, I guess training every day, like we do here at USA, lifting, getting stronger, doing extra reps when you have the time off, watching video on yourself and on other people that are at the Olympic level, and play professionally overseas so you can grow as a player.
I think just full commitment, like Briggs said, it's just putting in like the extra time, not just during practice, but outside of it, stretching, rolling out, taking care of your body, eating right. I think all of it kind of goes in.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so you just shared with us your biggest goal now, and you were saying having a long career, owing it to yourself to kind of give it your all the time. What steps do you need to take to reach that goal?
I think the biggest thing for me is just kind of taking every day, one day at a time. I think it's easy to get ahead of yourself and think too far into the future. And I think all you can focus on is like the moment you're in now. So just being the best you can be in that moment. And hopefully that process will lead into something great.
Yeah, I mean, obviously all that that's all said is pretty much right. I mean, just kind of taking care of the little things. Like there's always the little things you can do here and there to help yourself get better, like whether it's eating better, doing extra stuff, and just kind of focusing on those, and then everything else should take care of itself.
Got it. And so the last icebreaker question here is, what factors are keeping you from reaching that goal?
I'd say myself, self-doubt, or just like not having enough confidence in who I am as a player, or being confident around like teammates or other people that are also really good. It's kind of intimidating playing around people that have gone to the Olympics or that are already pro players, or building a relationship with them and being able to play with them.
What's holding me back? Is that what you said?
Yeah, what factors are holding you back from reaching that goal?
I don't know. Time, just more reps.
Yeah.
Haven't been playing as long as a lot of the older guys in the gym, but as you keep growing, you keep getting more reps. You eventually catch up. So I think that's something that helps.
Yeah, I'd say outside distractions. Especially we're on the court and you're trying hard, and kind of what you do off the court affects what you do on the court. So making sure you're making decisions outside the court that are helping you succeed at what you do.
Got it.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. Like pretty much just outside distractions really can kind of set you back depending on like how you want to go about it, like eating better or all that stuff. So.
Okay, cool. So now let's go into our activity here. Partner up. I'll just say you two and you two. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna hide these blocks that we have here. One partner will be blindfolded.
I want to be blindfolded.
You want to be mindful?
Yeah.
I'm
So I will hide these blocks.
Familiar, huh?
Okay, so I'm gonna hide these blocks throughout the room. One partner's gonna be blindfolded, and the one that's not will direct you through the room to get one block at a time. You're gonna bring that block back here, and then once I have one of you blindfolded, I will show the unblindfolded partner what structure I want you to instruct your blindfolded partner to make with the blocks. And then after that, we'll talk about it a little bit, we'll debrief, and then after that, we'll switch roles.
Oh, okay. Maybe
And then we'll see how it goes.
Just blindfold me already.
Okay, so one of you get blindfolded.
Just one of the groups or both groups?
Oh no, we're going at the same time.
Okay, there we go.
And also, Taylor, you're gonna need to see this, but I'm also hiding a tennis ball. You need to find the tennis ball along with one of the 6 boxes as well. And this will also be part of the structure that I'm gonna have you make.
Oh boy.
Okay, so go ahead and pull your blindfolds down.
Does Brinkley get to know where the ball is and everything?
Brinkley
Well, I
and
can
Greg
see.
can both see, and they will direct you.
That makes sense.
Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to tell you where the ball is.
Like hidden or just hidden because I'm blindfolded?
It's hitting because you're blindfolded.
Okay.
Okay, Greg and Brinkley, this is the structure you're going to instruct them to make after they retrieve 1 block at a time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Does the ball have to be last?
That's the way it has to be.
Okay,
Yeah.
just making
so,
sure.
Yep. No, yeah, you're right.
I don't know if you can
But
see the ball.
just to reiterate this rule, you have to retrieve 1 block at a time. No touch. Okay.
Just no one hit me in the dick.
This is on a video.
Yeah, actually. I didn't realize that.
It's okay, it can be edited out.
Just turn off the sound of that one.
Greg and Brinkley, why don't you bring them over here by the couch?
Okay.
You can with your hands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't walk in the chair.
It's like, I know I should trust you, but I still don't trust you. It's kind of weird. It's going to be a growing process for both of us here.
Right behind you's the wall.
I will not purposely run you into anything. I
That would be
promise.
nice. You look pretty brittle right now.
So are we trying to do this fast?
Trying to do
Where do you want
competition?
where do you
Yeah.
want him to bring it to?
You're trying to do it quickly,
Okay.
and then once you have everything, you're gonna bring it back to the table here
Okay.
and construct the image that I had you construct.
Okay.
So, but just another rule here: you're only instructing your partner. Of course, you're not gonna be helping Taylor, and you're not gonna be helping Jonah. So, yes. So 1 block at a time. There's 6 blocks,
Okay.
and also the tennis ball. Bring back 1 block at a time to the table. And then once you have all 6 blocks, you can begin constructing.
And I'm guessing we just have to say it, we can't touch them.
Exactly, no touching, only instructing with your voices.
Can we tell them like a description of what we're building?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, wait, yeah, I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
To tell you that, Taylor.
Go.
Alright,
Okay,
step
step
forward.
for-
Keep
oh, you're
going
gonna run
forward.
into
Keep going
Taylor.
forward. Alright.
Actually,
your
oh,
left
turn
a
your
little
right,
bit.
turn right.
Now
Okay,
stop.
now go straight.
Reach
Push
straight
the wall on
down.
your right.
Yeah.
Go down on your
Now
right.
turn to your
Front
left a
of
little bit
you,
farther.
Keep no.
Now you walk towards me, walk
Go
towards me.
forward.
There you
Go
go.
forward. Take
Now you
that
can
block.
stop, turn to your right.
Okay,
The
now
table's
turn
right
around.
here. Just put it down.
Taylor's in front
Okay,
of
now
you.
Taylor, not Taylor.
Wait.
Alright, now go
Okay,
straight.
you can put
There's
it
a chair that's
down.
gonna be right to your left here. Now
well,
steps. No, wait, stop. Turn to your left.
Grab it again.
Take about a
Go to
step
the other
forward.
side of
There's
the
2
table, so
chairs
keep
right
coming.
there.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
you
fine.
just
Okay,
take the
leave it
block.
there.
There's a
Not
chair
the
right
other way,
there.
though.
Reach
Put
onto
it
the
flat
chair.
down.
Yeah.
Like
There you
flat.
go. Then
Okay,
there's
now
a chair
turn it
to
to
your
your
left and your right.
Because you're gonna need it
Alright,
straight.
stop,
Yeah,
stop.
perfect.
Chair. Okay, turn your left a little bit. There you go.
Watch out,
Now
Taylor.
walk straight.
Drop the
And
block
then Jonah's
to the
right there. Now
Okay,
table's
go to your
right here.
To
Step
your
put it right down.
Keep step.
There you go.
Keep coming. Keep
Go
coming. Okay,
just
now
keep
turn
walking
your right.
forward. Turn to your left.
Crouch down and look
Okay,
4 feet
keep
ahead
walking.
of you.
There's going to be a
block.
chair to your right, and then the table right in front of you. Stop.
Go right.
Reach forward
Okay,
with
there's
your
a
right
chair to
hand.
the left.
Right there.
Scoot
There's a
forward,
block.
A little bit more forward.
I
And
know.
keep walking. Ow, that's me.
Alright, it's on the
Okay,
chair
now
that's
put-
straight in
see
front of
your
you.
other
Stop.
block?
Stop. There you
Yeah,
go.
you have to have a little
Now
bit of
you can
spacing
keep
in between the
walking
blocks,
forward.
but you want one in front of the
Now
other.
reach
Not side by
over
side, but one in
towards
front of the
me.
other. Okay,
Put it.
good. Now push the blocks a
right,
little
no,
bit
up,
forward,
up.
more forward, so that they're closer to the
There.
edge.
Yeah, that'll work.
Whoa. Get your block off. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay,
And now,
now
yeah,
turn
keep
around.
walking that way.
Okay, now
There's a recycling bin right behind the table.
Okay, now go straight. Go
Alright,
straight.
feel along the
To
table,
your
stop.
right. Okay,
Go down
straight.
and reach underneath the
Now
table to your
left.
left.
And go straight.
Right
Keep
there.
coming, keep
Yeah.
coming, keep coming, keep
Now
coming.
keep following around the
Crouch
table.
down.
You can turn to your left a little bit.
On your right
Or
hand,
just follow
reach
the wall,
back,
watch out,
down,
chair,
forward,
chair,
forward. Keep going.
Full rep.
Right,
Alright, now turn to your left towards me.
Okay,
Reach
now
across.
turn around. There's a
straight
chair,
down,
there's a
that'll
chair.
work.
Go left.
Yeah.
Take a step left.
Now keep going.
And then
Follow
now
the
go
table
straight.
again. Table's right in front of you.
Straight.
Follow it.
Straight. A little bit to
And
left.
then there's gonna be a block on the table right
Come
to
to
your
your
left.
right. Okay,
Right
now
to
we're
my
back on
left?
the table. Those
To
are
your left.
Taylor's.
To your left.
So
On
you
the-
feel your
on
two
the
blocks.
table.
Yeah,
Yep.
you need another space.
Or on the ground too. That'll work too.
Do you feel the
Follow
other
the
one?
table again.
Okay.
One, you gotta do one at a time.
Okay. Now, share. Whoa. Taylor's cheating. Taylor, no cheating.
I didn't
One
know.
at a
Time,
Go
one
to
more
your left,
time.
go to
Just
your
so we're
left,
clear,
go
it
to
wasn't
your
one
right,
of the
go to
rules.
your right. Hear my voice. Hear my voice. Okay, now crouch down.
Quickly.
So freaking you freaking cheater. Oh
Alright, watch out,
my
there's a chair on the
god.
ground.
Alright, guys.
Okay,
Alright,
sit
now
up,
the
sit
rule is
up.
one at a
Sit
time.
up.
Stop. Turn towards me.
Take one step to
Reach across.
straight.
There's the table.
Okay,
Stop.
now
Go
go
straight
right.
down.
There's a table in front of you.
Alright,
Keep
that's
walking,
good.
keep
Wait,
walking,
how many
keep
do we need
walking.
again?
Down to your left.
Yeah, no, Taylor.
keep-
Okay, wait,
take
yeah,
another
no.
step
You're gonna
forward.
keep walking
Up to
straight.
right.
The table's right in front of you now. Reach down,
Okay,
go
see
touch the
the pole,
table.
feel the pole on your
Follow
right.
the table,
Sit on
and
the
then
other
stop
side.
right there. Turn to your right.
Okay, now grab it.
Take out one step,
Yes.
and then there's stop, and then there's gonna be a tennis ball to your left on the
Okay,
ground.
chair in front of you. Go one
To
step
your
more
left,
right,
to your
right.
left, to your left.
Okay, good. Now keep going
Right,
forward.
right,
Keep
right,
going
right,
forward.
right there.
Wait,
Alright, now
I never
turn-
did this. This
Come
is
towards
Taylor's.
me. Come
Okay.
towards me.
See,
Watch
do
out,
you
there's
feel
a
your
chair
two
straight in
blocks?
front of
Now you
you.
need it in
There
between.
you go.
You know how
Now
like
turn
bricks
to your
stack?
right a little bit.
Yeah.
How one has to,
Okay,
yeah.
now come.
Good, perfect. Okay,
No,
now come
now
back.
Stop. Turn left. Wait.
Go
There
straight.
you go. There you go. There
Keep
you go.
going straight. Keep going
Okay,
straight.
come
There's a
towards
table
me.
right in
Come
front of you
towards
on
me.
your
Keep
left.
coming. Okay, turn to your right.
Keep
There's the
coming.
table right here.
Keep coming.
So
Come
what
to the
you're
right.
gonna
To
do?
the right. This
Put
way.
the tennis
keep
ball
going
down
right.
right now because we've got
Watch
6
out,
blocks.
there's a chair
Okay.
on your left
You're gonna
leg.
put
Take a step to your
3
right.
blocks
Straight
on
this
the
way.
ground, one right in the
Okay,
center,
crouch
and then
down,
2
left
off
hand.
to the sides
3
of
blocks
the
in the
table.
ground.
A little bit to your
Okay,
right.
so,
a little
yeah,
bit,
reach for that one.
Take that block.
Alright, now turn
Okay,
the
turn around.
block in your right hand.
Okay, come back this
No,
way.
so
come
it's
back
gonna
this
be
way. Come back
now-
this way.
yeah,
You're
like
right,
that,
right,
but you're
right,
gonna
right,
turn
right.
it.
Another step to your right. There's a
That,
chair in
that
front
one.
of you.
Okay, now push
Okay.
it in a little bit so then the
Come back.
edge of it is like right on the
Okay.
edge of the table.
Now do you feel your blocks? Now you need to do
And
the
then
other
you're
one.
gonna leave about like
The same,
an
but other
inch
one.
or 2 gap in between those 2 blocks that you have right there.
Oh. Okay.
From there, yeah.
Come back. This way, this way,
Okay,
this way.
and then you're gonna put
Remember,
another
there's a
block
table
on
right
the
here. Keep
opposite
going
side
straight
of
this
it
way.
over
There's a
here.
chair.
There's actually 2 that are on your left
Keep
right
going,
here.
keep coming.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
like
now
the
it's gonna
same
be,
thing, but there's 2 over
chest
here
height,
already.
so keep walking, keep
So
walking,
you can
keep
just
walking.
move
Chest
one of
height,
them if
little
you want
bit
to,
your
and it's
left.
gonna be like the same
Keep coming,
way
keep coming,
on
keep
the other
coming.
side of that
Okay,
block.
keep
That
going.
block. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Now come back this way, this way, this way. Come on, boys. Come
That
on.
one.
Right
And move it a
here.
little bit closer.
Keep coming,
To where?
keep coming,
To
keep
the-
coming.
the-
Okay, so
actually,
now
stop
how?
and move it
Yeah,
over
no,
there,
yeah,
and then
now
the
you
middle,
need on
reach
the
to the
top,
middle
like
block
how
right
the
now.
other two are.
And
Yeah.
then move it to the left
Wait.
a little bit.
This one?
Yes.
Okay, now we need to get the ball.
Right there,
Remember
that's
the ball
good.
at the first
Alright,
touch?
now you're gonna
Okay, so
put
the chair
2
in
blocks
front
on
of you,
top
so come a
of
little
each
bit,
one
step
in
left.
between.
And then come
Or
straight.
Like a pyramid.
Step
Yeah,
right, step
kinda like a
right.
pyramid.
Use your
In
words,
between, in
Greg.
between. Come over here.
Yeah,
Or your
there you
right,
go.
or
And
your
then you're gonna
crouch
put
down, reach your
the,
right
there's
arm
one more
out
block
super
right
far.
there.
It's in
Put
the
it on
corner, so
top,
keep
and then
going.
you put the tennis
Right
ball
there.
right on top of the middle.
Okay,
one.
come
It's
back,
on
come
the
back
ground
this way.
right
You
there.
can. Come this way, keep going straight, keep going straight.
Oh,
Step
wait,
left,
just
keep
don't
going
know.
straight,
So you
straight,
gotta
straight,
try and
straight.
make it-
Straight, straight, straight. Okay, you gotta rest the ball on the
Yeah.
top. In the middle. Oh!
You got it,
No, it was good, it was good, it was good. Yours is fine, yours is fine.
That's crazy. The block's twisted.
Am I done?
Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps falling off. I don't know why it keeps falling off.
Okay, we can take the blindfolds out.
I mean,
You got it. The table is just a little
Yeah.
crooked.
No, I got it.
You okay? Well,
No,
you
no,
guys
no,
technically
no.
draw one, but
Yeah,
There
you
you go.
cheated, you took 2 blocks.
okay, hold on.
We had this
So-
conversation at the start.
What did you guys notice about this activity?
It was a lot harder than I thought.
It's a lot of like you have to be pretty specific with like some of the stuff, and you have to make sure they don't run into obstacles and stuff. I kind of screwed up on one, and then the rest of them I thought was pretty good.
Guys that were blindfolded, what did you notice?
I just really didn't want to hit my shin on a chair.
I thought it was better when he was telling me to like follow his voice. So he made the directions simple rather than being like, okay, left, then 3 inches are like super specific. If he was just like, oh, follow me, like step to your left, like really simple directions,
Yeah.
I found myself moving easier.
What were some challenges besides obviously being blindfolded? For the
Mine was-
non-blindfolded part.
Mine was trust.
Yours was
I'm just gonna
trust.
go ahead and take this one over. Mine is trust. Okay? You know, I think Greg and I were still new in our relationship. We've only known for like a week, so
Right.
to really just trust that he wasn't tricking me. Like the first half, I was like, he's gonna trick me and make me fall over or something, you know. But then eventually, he earned my trust by getting me the blocks and putting them on the table at a good speed.
Got it.
I learned to trust him. I didn't hit anything, so thank
Well
you.
done, guys.
Good, bud.
What did you guys notice? What were some challenges?
I don't know. I mean, just besides the fact that you had to get one at a time, I thought we did decently well.
Yeah.
His directions were clear, and I don't know, wasn't too difficult.
What worked?
When we did the follow the voice. At the start, I was
Yeah.
telling like step left, step right,
Mhm.
keep going forward.
Yeah, there was a
Well,
little
then
bit different in technique used here. It
Yeah.
seemed like you were leading him,
Yeah.
whereas you were directing. Did you notice that was a little more beneficial?
I didn't even notice what they were
No,
doing. Sorry.
From your start to when you finished.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like like when I started to like lead and like kind of like follow my voice, it was like way easier for him to like.
I feel like
move
I
to
could
the
just,
chairs.
I could move faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First I was like inching my way, like little left, little right, forward, and I was like on slow, but then I was just kind of like weaving like as he was walking.
I thought ours wasn't too bad though, cause like he was along the wall and I just told him to kind of follow the table, cause there was a few blocks like right along the table, so just if he followed the table and then I told him to stop and then reach around, I thought that was
Okay.
pretty simple. Obviously the follow my voice was easy too,
Mhm. Okay, so that's straight blindfolds here.
That's
This is gonna be so bad.
Yeah, straight blindfolds.
Blindfold me, baby.
Same concept, not the same shape.
Same concept. I'm gonna show them the different shape that I want.
Okay.
Also, like it would have been helpful if you were like, hey, we're making a pyramid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I never said you couldn't tell them the shape. You
Yeah,
could tell
I
them
know,
the
I
shape.
didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought like it's
Okay.
facing like bricks.
Pull your blindfold up.
Okay.
Pull it up or put it
No,
down?
put your don't look is what I'm saying. Okay, Jonah and Taylor, this is what I want them to make.
Oh,
It's
boy.
got a balance, but
Yeah,
got it.
cool.
Oh god, has to balance.
Oh, geez.
Okay.
It's gonna be
I'm pretty
tough
good
to
with
do, like-
pictures. So
There's 4 blocks on the table right there that you will not use. So this time, guys that are blindfolded, you're only retrieving 4 blocks and a tennis ball.
Okay. Rude.
A little different. So these, I'll move those, but we won't be using those.
Mickey, you better not run into me.
already
Language. Okay,
Yeah, there's 2 things you know.
guys who are blindfolded, we can begin.
Just follow my voice.
Take a step forward.
Just go ahead and follow my voice.
Make it right, make it right, keep
Follow my
going.
voice. Follow my
Alright,
voice. Follow my
stop,
voice.
bend
Follow
down,
my voice.
to your right,
Follow my
to
voice.
your right,
Follow my
a little
voice.
closer to
Let's
you.
move a little faster.
Yeah.
Follow my voice. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
stay where you're
Follow me.
All the way
Follow me
here.
straight. Look down.
Sorry.
Down. Bend down. Grab that
So,
block. Just bend down and grab
Put
that
that one
block. There you
flat
go.
like you
Follow
had
me
the
again.
first one down, a little bit to the
Follow
left.
me. Follow me.
And right there, that's good. Alright, now come here. Let's go this way. Avoid Taylor. Alright, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Turn right, put it down.
This way, a little to your right,
Yeah.
a little to your right. One side.
Alright, follow me.
And
Follow me.
forward.
Follow me. Follow
Come
me.
here, come here,
Follow me here. Follow me here. Turn left.
Sorry.
Follow me. Follow me.
Bend down
Follow me.
to right,
Bend
right.
down to the left.
Right there.
Yep, under the chair.
Um,
There you
to your
go.
left, one
Stop.
step
Turn left. Follow
This
me
way,
here.
right,
Follow my
this way.
voice.
This way,
Follow my
this way,
voice.
this way.
Follow my
This
voice.
way.
Stop. Reach over and put it
Keep going
down.
this
Reach
way,
over,
keep
put it
going
down.
this
There you
way.
go.
Alright, come here.
Okay,
Just
turn
nose
back
to your
90
right.
degrees. Come
So
here.
you
Follow
come
my
here,
voice.
you want to
Follow
lean
my
it
voice. Chair a little bit.
So you're gonna have
Like
it.
this.
Follow my voice.
Yeah, but you want it to
Follow me
tilt
all
to
the
like
way
a
here,
45
bend
degree
down to
angle.
the table,
Yeah,
under the
yeah.
table.
There we go. Now
Yep,
come
that's
this
okay.
way.
Wait,
Stop.
180. Yeah, follow me here. Let's take some big steps. There you go. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Stop. Reach over to the left.
Straight. Now
There you go.
left, 90.
Follow my voice again.
Straight, straight, straight.
Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Down to the left. Reach under the table.
We're gonna get it first, so go straight.
There's 2.
Go
Don't worry.
straight. To your left a
There you
little
go.
bit. Left a little bit.
180,
Yeah, there
Greg.
you go.
180, buddy.
Alright, get up
Big
again.
steps. 2 big steps.
This way.
1, 2. Reach over and put it
Turn
down.
your right a little bit, so go
Alright,
left.
that's
No, no,
cool.
no. Oh, careful. Left. Around that chair.
Come
Go
over.
straight. Go straight
Come
like
over
4
to the
steps.
table.
Tails in front
Can
of
I
you.
move this? Can I move this? Alright.
Alright,
Follow my
same
voice.
way
Follow
on
my
the other
voice.
side.
Follow
as
my
that
Oh shit,
one.
we need a tennis ball. Just
Go on
kidding.
the other one.
Get 180. Follow my voice. Follow my
Fix the
voice.
one on the
Follow my
right a
voice.
little bit.
Table right here.
Even it
Okay,
up.
slide around. Middle of the table.
Even
Move
it
it
up.
on the wall.
Alright, so
There you go. 180.
we're gonna go.
Come to me. Come to me, baby.
Let's go this way, this way.
Let's start
Come on.
building.
All the way
So we're gonna go for like a diamond shape. So I want
Yeah,
one. This block, the first block.
Make a left 90.
Okay, just turn it horizontal.
Alright,
The other
remember
way.
you gotta be up that high
The other
one.
way.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
there, to the left more.
Okay, but go slide a little to the left.
Now follow the table.
Right there,
down.
perfect.
Table
Okay,
down.
the next one you want it leaning
Keep on
45
all the way, there's
degrees
nothing in front of you.
against.
And the table will be like a
Oh, which-
two-step.
yes, just like that, just like that.
Okay,
Do the
then
same
wait.
with the other one.
We're on the left more. over here?
Yep. Same with
So
the
you
other
want
one.
the other
Now
one
put
like
the
on
this
top
block in
of
front of
the
you
other
on
two
top.
leaning.
Make them
So
lean on
flat
top.
like
Put
the
the tennis
bottom
ball on
one.
the top.
Just like that?
Yep, put
Perfect.
the
A
tennis
little
ball on
bit
the top
more
now.
to the left. Good. All right, and then okay, this way.
Okay, it's a
here's the
little
border.
uneven, so take
this
your
way, you're
left
good.
cube and
Over
put
right.
it down a little bit.
Over to your right. And
Right there.
straight,
Perfect.
straight, straight,
Perfect.
straight.
Now put the
Down.
ball on top.
That ball's right in front of you. Left hand. Oh, right. Right. There you go.
Make sure it's like feel around for the blocks to make sure it feels even.
Go right, 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 right. All right,
Okay,
now
put-
you're gonna
put your
move
left
over
hand,
here,
that block,
make
put it
right
down
to
a
your
little
right.
bit.
Stop.
So it's not set a
Put it
sharp
right,
angle.
Put it right on top.
There you go. Now try putting the ball on top.
Wait, no, it's fallen. It's fallen.
It's falling. Your right side's a little bit tilted
Yeah,
down.
you want to move it to the left.
There you go,
Top,
right there.
top,
Perfect, perfect. Put it on top.
Oh, no, it's fallen.
Oh no, it's
Oh,
building.
wait. Your right block is tilted
There you
too
go, right
much.
there.
You
That's
wanna make it a
perfect.
little
Bro, that
flatter.
looks perfect.
So
That's
move that one
perfect.
down
Put that ball on top.
slightly. There we go.
Put that
I
ball
think
on
it's good. Yes, you're good. You're good. You're one. Ready to take it off.
I feel like just like
Hell
I feel like we're getting the curved blocks here. I really like it. I don't know why it's doing that.
What do you mean? It's tilted. You don't see it.
I like,
Dude,
I like
that's
what you did with it. Alright. We tried our best.
That's, I think, okay. Yeah.
I respect,
No, that was good.
I respect what you're doing.
There we go.
Oh!
Very good. Well,
Oh my gosh.
I did not describe that shit
Well,
to you.
I didn't.
we had
either,
a
but
beat.
I got the
I just-
idea once you said like
I had
the
trouble
first one,
describing
it was,
what
like,
exactly
tilted.
no, I thought it did.
It's
just
hard to
fine. It just,
imagine
like, kept
Yeah.
rolling
where like I was trying to go like this, but it's hard to imagine like
The angle.
how much they were angled. It's like
so how was it being switched this time?
I like being able to see.
yeah, I feel like he did better giving instructions than I did.
I feel like we took a better technique second time, so for both
Yeah.
groups it was just much quicker retreat.
What was better?
I think the
changed?
leading,
Yeah.
leading is actually a lot easier
Mhm.
just because you just follow the voice and then like you just tell
Right.
you what to do. And then one stop, it just makes it a lot simpler.
Yeah.
Like he took me through like a lot faster. Like,
Yeah.
he was just like here, step right here. We just like went faster.
Was it easier to trust your partner if they were leading you?
Yeah. Because you knew that they were kind of like clearing the path. Like if I was like the first time when he was kind of like standing behind me, he's going like step, and I don't know,
Yeah.
he's over there and I'm going this way.
Exactly. Okay.
But yeah, I think the following's the best.
Okay. What would you have to change if you couldn't lead your partner?
What would you have to
So let's say Jonah's blindfolded, you can see, you couldn't move right there.
yeah.
What would you have to change with your communication to lead him?
Be more specific.
Yeah. A
Or-
lot more about directions, like one step forward and then
Mhm.
one step right, and then like
Yeah.
more simplify it.
Versus like left,
Here,
left,
come
left,
here,
come
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, got
Gotta be
it.
very specific.
What was difficult about making the structure? Guys were blindfolded.
I didn't think it was really all that difficult at all. Taylor's pretty good with like the directions. It's like kind of diamond shaped. I had to lean up the two. It's just finding the actual ball to get balanced on that for
Right.
some reason. It wasn't working too well.
Putting this one together, I was trying to figure out how I could instruct them to have this one leaning if I had a partner doing with it. But I noticed that both of you used the description leaning at a 45-degree angle. How'd you come up with that? Like, because that proved to be really good for both of the blindfolded partners. It seemed like they were able to put it up right away when they were given that instruction.
Yeah, at first he went like just straight like a 90
okay, yeah.
and like lean up against it. He had like one standing up, one laying down. Like no, like not 90, 45. I don't know. Just seemed like the easiest way to describe it.
I just use simple geometry really to angle out 45 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say slide too, like make a slide.
Oh, okay.
That kind of maybe would have put it in your mind easier
Yeah.
too.
that would've been good too. I don't
Because
know,
at
40
that point, like it's easier if in your head you have some sort of image and it's not
Yeah.
like just words. You know?
Yeah.
So if I can put the image in your head, then you can kind of be creative with what you think it is.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like 45 is an angle that everybody like says or like
Mhm.
knows at some point in their life, so it's pretty like standard.
Absolutely. So here's kind of a big question here. How can what we learned today, actually let's go with this first. What skill do you think was used most in this activity today?
Communication.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I'd say communication and trust.
Yeah, trust is also a big one, huh?
Yeah.
How can that be used in your sport and for your position specifically? Because each of us, actually, this is great. Each of us play a completely different position here. So let's just go from person to person. How can the communication skills that you use today with your partner be used out on the court?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Just with my hitters especially,
Mhm.
you know, they're communicating and I'm communicating with them, like what kind of set they want, and if they're being loud, especially in transition, it helps me a lot. So it's something that's definitely beneficial for me.
Got it. Okay.
I feel like as a libero, you pass with like a bunch of different hitters and even opposites, or so a lot of things changes and no serve is the same. So every seam is different, every angle is different because people serve from different parts of the end line.
Okay.
So you're constantly having to change your idea of talking with somebody and trusting them that they could do their part and you can do your part. So sometimes people will want to take more in a certain area that they're more comfortable, or sometimes they'll want to take less and only take like 10% of the court, and sometimes liberos would take more. So it's just like that trusting on when you communicate on what you want to do.
Okay, got it. And do you find with that communication you're talking about prior to receiving a serve, do you find that communication that you build with your hitters builds the trust?
Yeah, I mean, I think communication builds the trust on and off the court. I mean, I think like the best relationships that I had off the court with my outside hitters were also the best relationships I had in passing. So
Got it.
I feel like the more trust you have off the court, the more trust you have on the court too.
100%. Okay. Taylor?
I think the biggest thing to take from this for me was just the ability to adapt to new information. You know, so we come here, maybe we have coaches we're not used to, we're just overseas or at our colleges. We have a coach there and you come here and it's brand new. So your ability to take the information that someone new gives you and trust them and apply it quickly. You know, here we didn't have time to like really talk things over or a strategy or anything. It was just kind of like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm telling you, like take this information and do something with it. You know, so I think the biggest thing for me was just like, how can I take information that a new coach gives me or a player or something and learn to apply it right then in that moment, you know, and benefit from it.
Got it. Greg, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the same thing. Like, it was, especially with Binky, like as outside passing is a big thing, and then with like Jonah as setters, like communicating like what kind of set you want, like what you think. The other thing I think that like I actually struggle with, a lot of people do, is just like the communication on like, say that like somebody's going up to block and there's a ball that they block and it just goes straight up, like being able to like say like where it's at, being kind of specific with that, because that's kind of a skill that a lot of people struggle with. And I mean, like that's one of the things that like first popped up into my head doing this, because like you have to be pretty specific with where you want to go and like what you want to do. So
And so I had you guys going at the same time, because obviously in sport you have, especially volleyball, 6 people on the court at one time. And Greg brought up a good example here. When the ball goes straight up, sometimes it lands and everyone's campfiring around the ball. How are you able to communicate with your partner when you had 2 other people talking at the same time?
Focus.
Definitely just focus.
Try to just pay attention to his voice.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
we
when I
all
was
have different
going, I
voices.
really didn't hear them at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just only heard him.
Really able to zone in on your
I was
partner?
just gonna say, it kind of simulated like being in the zone when you're playing. Like you're instantly, when you put yourself in the zone, you're instantly able to block out like a crowd or other distractions and focus on the voice in your head or the voice, the coach, whatever, and just focus on what he's telling you to do.
Got it.
So I think that was a good simulation of that.
Okay.
same thing.
Awesome.
Really simple to just kind of focus in on the one voice and not have to worry about the other ones.
Well, guys, thank you so much. It was awesome. It was really fun for me watching. But yeah, I hope you guys got something from it, and I really appreciate your help. It was big time. Thanks, boys.
No problem, dude.
Awesome.